Health and hearty greetings, most esteemed televiewers of Divine Mercy Radio and Television, the Diocese of Buea. Welcome again to another edition of You and the Law, presented to you by me, your host, Reverend Father Barrister Emil Tanka. With me, I have guests with me today. We are going to have some share of the law, which we give you every time. As you said, ignorance of the law is no excuse. I would like to welcome Dr. Mrs. Ken Pelagine. Welcome, Esquire.
Thank you, Barrister. Thank you very much.
Okay, you're welcome. Again, I welcome Barrister Ateba William Marafa. Welcome, Barrister.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Council.
Okay. Once more, thank you very much for being there and always being active listeners and active listeners of Divine Mercy Radio and Television, or active listeners and viewers. So today we have a topic which we are going to talk on marriage. Comes to us from the two ordinances of the Cameroon law, the ordinance of 19 of law number 81 of 02 of 29 June 1981. That's the first ordinance that talks about marriage, what we are going to talk on. Then also we have the second ordinance, which is new, the 2024 ordinance /016 of 23rd December 2024. Councils, we are happy to be here. Council, we are happy to be here. So I would like us to let the public understand, first of all, what marriage is all about. And I'll begin by saying that marriage is a legal union of a couple as spouses. It's a legal union of couple as spouses, legal. So that is marriage. So anything that is not legal is not marriage. So Council, William?
Yeah, thank you very much, Barrister. I want to say it's my first time having you in this discussion. I think the last time I was here, we discussed on civilian protection. So I'm very happy to have you on this discussion. Marriage. We are talking about marriage. Lord Penzance, in the case of Hyde and Hyde, he says marriage in Christendom is the union between one man and one woman. So it means that he defines marriage, he perceives marriage as a monogamous union. Whereas Justice Ganje in Mutanga versus Mutanga, he defines marriage as the union between one man and one or more women, to the exclusion of other men. So meaning that he perceives marriage as a polygamous union. So it is first of all important, after understanding the meaning of marriage or the definition of marriage, to look at the importance of this union. I'm sure Barrister, you can give us a gist on that.
Oh, thank you once more. Thank you for this opportunity of being here today. So we have spoken of marriage and the various case law jurisprudence on marriage. Now it's good to know why it's important to get married. We have a lot of cohabitation, people cohabiting without getting married. Why is it important to get married? Marriage is actually very important for several reasons. Marriage, to begin with, guarantees the couples better legal protection in cases of inheritance. Maybe if you happen to live with a person and maybe, for example, that person happens to die. In case of inheritance, it is when you are legally married that you have that right to inherit from the estate of the deceased spouse. So as a concubine, it will be very difficult for you, especially in case of intestacy where there is no will written, which gives you any part of his estate. It will be very difficult for you to inherit. Marriage also helps you. It gives these the parties the parental rights. It gives the parties parental rights maybe better parental rights in situations where the couples or the people, the persons concerned or who are in a relationship are not married. There is this problem of who has affiliation over a child and so on. Oftentimes, affiliation over illegitimate children it's with the mother. So if you get married, you live with your partner and the children live with you, that gives you better parental rights or stronger parental rights, and you have affiliation over your children. Marriage is also important because even for immigration purposes, when you are asked there at wherever or whatsoever you want to travel, are you married or single? If you are cohabiting, you can never be recognized as a married person. So marriage, when you go and have your marriage entered into the civil status register, it serves very important purposes. It helps also in the status of your child. It helps to define and gives your child a better status. Your child becomes known as a legitimate child. And that only happens when you are married. You have legitimate children. If you get married, if you have children out of wedlock, those children become illegitimate children. So it's also helpful for the purpose of your children. If not for you, at least for the purpose of your children. And it also gives you this emotional or psychological security to learn that you are a married person, instead of living with somebody, maybe living with a man or with a woman, and you are scared of tomorrow, what tomorrow might hold, what if this man dies, what happens to me, what happens to all of what we are doing together. So marriage would give you this emotional and psychological security, which you likely not have if you stay with a person without lawfully getting married.
Thank you very much, Counsel. You know, the legal framework, as I pointed out already, is the Civil Ordinance of 1981 and the Civil Ordinance of 2024. Then also the institutional framework is that marriage is being celebrated according to the law of the state. Is celebrated in the council. So the mayor and his assistants, they have the legal duty to celebrate marriage. Now, we must understand that in the law of 2024/016 of 23rd December 2024, there's section, particularly section 2, they talks about, it's pointed out that this law particularly applies to all Cameroonians. All Cameroonians, even those who are staying abroad, are not only Cameroonians, but all those who are living in the Cameroon land, even all those who are maybe persons coming to Cameroon to stay as refugees. As long as you are in Cameroon, this law do apply to you. Now we are going to look at the marriage in this the tripartite division of marriage. That marriage is celebrated at the customary level, especially in Cameroon. Marriage is supposed to be celebrated at the customary level. Marriage is celebrated at the civil level, that is supposed to be recognized by the state, and marriage also to be celebrated by the church. So that tripartite celebration of marriage to give it its full legal status. Although also every still celebrating it at the customary level and at the level of the new law, as we know, especially the new law 2024 also spells out something there, particularly section 49, which talks about customary marriage linking up to civil marriage. So council, I would like us to brief the people, let them understand about customary marriage. Let them understand customary marriage, because some of the persons who are listening to us, they're out of Cameroon. You know, this channel is not limited only to Cameroonians, but it's a global channel. It's a channel that is watched all over the world. So I would like us, Dr. Mrs. Pelagie, please can you highlight something to us concerning customary marriage?
Well, how does it even come into play when it comes to customary marriages? Now, it starts by the groom getting a list from the family of the bride to be, and when the list is gotten, they try to get to obtain the needs as the list presents, and to fulfill the conditions traditionally as per the rights. And when it comes to customary marriages, first of all, it just depends on the particular culture, because as per our constitution, we have diverse cultures. So there is no one fast rule but depending on the customs. Either it's Bamileke or is it the Mancon tradition, so it just depends. So some are very costly, some are not. And those are some of the things that, deter some persons even from getting married because of the high costs, that it entails. So basically that is it when it comes to customary marriages.
Yes, and also just to add from what we have been sharing, customary marriage, as you said, it varies from custom to custom, and also not only custom, but sometimes families. Yes. A family may decide to give, although we are from the same village, but a family can decide to give the list, which is different from this other family, although they are from the same village, and sometimes also they have to bargain it. They have to bargain that list. That no, it's like that. We will not give this, or they may ask for 500,000. They will say, I will give 150,000. So it has to be bargained. So it does not sound very funny that the marriage list have to be bargained, as if they're buying somebody, as if they're buying a person.
Of course, as a result of the fact there's no one fast rule. So
Okay.
that is it.
So I'm happy with these explanations you have given on customary law. And I think it's essential to highlight or to explain to the viewers or to our audience that there are various kinds of marriages in Cameroon. You could have a civil marriage, which is a marriage celebrated under the Civil Status Registration Ordinance. You could have a customary marriage, which is celebrated customarily under customary laws. And you could have a monogamous marriage, which could be a civil status, a civil marriage, or even nothing stops a customary marriage from being monogamous, and nothing stops a civil marriage from being polygamous. So you can have a polygamous or monogamous marriage. So this aspect of customary marriage before, we did not have sufficient legal guarantees. So if you just get married customarily before, there was the need to go in for a civil marriage, so you could at least have a marriage certificate, because the courts have rightly and consistently held over the years that a marriage certificate is the prima facie evidence of the existence of a marriage. So without a marriage certificate, it's difficult to prove or establish the existence of any marriage. So before, customary practices are often unwritten. How do you prove that there was a marriage without the existence of a customary, or without the existence of a marriage certificate? So this 2024 law, which Reverend Father Barrister Emile has rightly cited, has brought in a paradigm shift in as much as marriage is concerned, especially customary marriages, because now you can contract a customary marriage, then have that marriage transcribed. That is, you have that marriage entered into the civil status registration or the civil status register, and when that is done, you'll be issued, I believe.
Okay, thank you very much, Council. I think that we are going to be coming on that also to highlight more. We guide on, marriage, as we said, it's a legal union, and in order for you to be married, there are capacities in order for somebody to get married, and I would like us to look at those capacities. But before we look at those capacities, we must understand that, as you have rightly pointed it out, you must understand that in the Civil Status Ordinance of 1981, particularly Section 17, that for the Civil Status Registrar to celebrate a marriage, he does not need customary marriage. He does not need it. So which means that somebody can move up to, as we normally call it, the court marriage. Somebody can move up to the court marriage, also called civil marriage. You can move up to celebrate it, rightly so, without passing through the customary marriage, and it will be valid. The law pointed out, and I think that it has not been repealed. That particular law has not been repealed, coming to this new law of 2024. So, Council, Dr. Pelagie, what do you have to say when it comes to the capacity of those to get married?
Yes, as we rightly said, Barrister Father Emile, marriage is that union that creates rights and obligations to the parties or the spouses who are engaged in it. Now, when it comes to capacity, it's just to tell you that there are certain conditions, that have to be met before by the parties, by the spouses who are getting married. There are also formalities that have to be met for spouses who are getting married. So what are some of these conditions that are important? Because most of the times we are oblivious of those conditions that are available to us. So as per the Civil Status Registration Ordinance of 1981, one of those first conditions is the sex of the parties. As far as Cameroon is concerned, the parties who are contracting the marriage must be of opposite sex. So you must have one male and one female. So there's no other way to go about it, because first of all, otherwise the penal code penalizes homosexuality, it penalizes consensual relations between between the persons of adults of the same sex. As per, if you look at section 347 of the penal code, so it punishes same-sex, marriages.
Just to add, particularly the penal code section 149 will punish even the person who celebrate a marriage.
Of course. Thank you. Now, when besides the condition of the sex of the parties, there is also the condition that neither of the parties should be already married. What are we talking about? Neither party should be married a priori. Meaning that this particular condition applies just to those who are monogamously married. If you look at section 49H of the Civil Status Registration Ordinance, you will see that those conditions are clearly spelled out there. Neither party must be monogamously married. But when it comes to polygamous marriages, then they are free, because you can have subsequent marriages. Since it's a polygamous union, you can have one marriage and then subsequently you have other marriages. Now, you also have the condition of the age. Yes, when it comes to marriage in Cameroon, as per the Civil Status Registration Ordinance, there is a particular age limit. So when no marriage may be contracted or celebrated, no marriage may be celebrated unless you are, when it comes to a minor, okay, if you are dealing with a minor of 15 years, which is a girl, and a minor of 18 years for the boy, unless the permission or authorization is granted by the President of the Republic. Also, the parties must not also be related within the prohibited degrees of consanguinity. What do we mean? That there should be persons who are getting married, as a fourth condition, should not be related in any way by blood. Of course, this is, it is not in every democracy that you will find this. We have some countries where they do practice marriage. People marry their cousins, they marry their close, relatives and things. But it is unheard of in Cameroon as per the civil status law. Then you have the condition of consent. Those who are getting married must contract the marriage based on their own free will. You cannot do a marriage because you have been forced or out of maybe coercion or whatever, but it is out of the mutual consent or the agreement between the husband and the wife, between the two spouses. It is true that sometimes there are exceptions to this particular condition, because you realize that some persons may contract a marriage when they were not in their right frame of mind. You can look at aspects like unsoundness of mind, and then and when he gets sane, or he gets sane, then the marriage, he comes to his senses and he realizes that, what was this that I contracted? I was not in my right frame of mind, and then he can plead that defense. And there's also the situation where persons get married out of fear, or mistake as to identity. You didn't know the person you were actually getting married to, and so on. Those are some of the conditions that you may want to pay attention to before getting married. And there are also formalities. The formalities have just two arms. We have the Civil Status Registration Ordinance in section 48, will tell you about who has to carry on with the marriage, who has to orchestrate the marriage that has to be done. It is done by the civil status registrar in section 48, and it is done based on the place of residence as well as the place of birth of the spouses. Yes, and if you look at section 53, it will tell you about the publication of bans, publication of bans, wherein 1 month before the marriage is being 1 month publication is made, mentioning the full names of the spouses, the sex, and so on. So all of these formalities are geared at, and there's even a waiver. When you go read further to section 54 sub 5, it tells you about a waiver. You can get a waiver from the state council, waiver of that 1 month period, to not give the publication bans and the parties engage their marriage. So we must, these conditions and formalities must be met before you say you have a valid marriage. Otherwise, there will be consequences for non-compliance.
Thank you very much, Dr. Barrister Ken, Esquire. Thank you very much for that beautiful one there. There's also what we know in law as necrogamy. Necrogamy, posthumous marriage, that is ghost marriage, particularly section 52 and section 69 of the Civil Status Ordinance 1981, where somebody gets married to a corpse. That may sound very funny. Counsel, what do you have to say?
Yes, our legislature has not absolutely or placed an absolute ban on necrogamy. There is a possibility of getting married to a dead person in Cameroon. The general rule is that it's not possible. But as an exception, it might be possible with a waiver from the head of state or the president of the republic. So, in order for you to get married to a corpse, a ghost marriage, you need the consent or you need a waiver from the president to do so. And in that case, the either maybe the father or the mother or the brother or somebody or relative of the deceased person may represent the deceased during the marriage, actually the marriage ceremony may represent the deceased.
Okay, thank you very much, Counsel. Many people do hold that if you have stayed with someone, a man or a woman, they have stayed for some time, maybe 5 years, or they have children, it means that they are married. Yes, and sometimes they do introduce themselves as married persons. Counsel Magafa, what do you have to say concerning that? People claiming to be married, they are staying together, they have stayed together for some time, they have stayed for 5 years, 6 years, 7 years, and they have children, and they are moving around saying that they are married. What do you have to say concerning that?
That's cohabitation. Can we stay? Can we stay is non-marriage. You have nothing. You are not married customarily. You've not signed anything. No marriage certificate. Cohabitation is dangerous, and it is not a form of marriage at all, irrespective of the longevity. No matter how long you stay there, 60 years, that doesn't make it marriage. So we have highlighted the types of marriages we have. You have a civil status or a civil marriage. You have a customary marriage. You can go in for any. If it's a customary, it's better you transcribe. But cohabitation is no marriage at all, and it has a lot of dangers.
Well, of course, we are facing that ill already, because we have a lot. If you look at our society, you realize a lot of practice, that malpractice. And when you want to go deep, they will tell you there is no money to celebrate because, of course, we are not able to, meet up. So is it that the aspect of there is no money is the problem why we are not having many marriages? Because compared to the rate of divorces that we have, that are flooding the courts, in this dispensation, then I'm sure by the end of this session, Father Barrister will tell us what the church is doing to encourage more marriages, and even to reduce costs.
Thank you very much, Council. To round up this edition, I would like to say that the church do sometimes organize group marriages. For example, in my parish, Immaculate Conception Parish, Great Support, where I am the parish priest, I've already made the announcement that people should register for group marriages, so that I can put them together. There are many people are staying like that. Many, as you are saying, Cameroon, many. They are not married customarily. Nothing have been done. They have not married in court and nothing. So, and they are just living on and on every day. Time is going. Somebody is already 50 years staying with a man or staying with a woman. Nothing has been celebrated. They have not done anything. So sometimes we do give that opportunity for group marriage so that all of them, they can register. Then together we can move up to the mayor or the civil status registrar and present them. In that way, it will be cost effective for them. So once more, councils, I would like to thank you all for coming. I would like to heartily thank everybody, those who are there, who have been listening to us. And I would also like to thank the studios technicians who have been there making sure that the program comes up to you live. Today we are on Monday. Every Monday we have this program from 5:30 to 6 p.m. 30 minutes program. So we wish you all the best. One also to send our regards. All of us here, we're sending our regards to the Bishop Michael Bibi, Bishop of the Diocese, the proprietor of this television station that we have here. Once more, thank you very much, councils. Thank you for coming.
Thank you,
for the people?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
It's a pleasure.
Yes.
It's my pleasure.
Any word for the people?
No, we just wish to thank the people once more for this time you've created to be with us today. Thank you so much.
And for
watching.
I would like to say for the young women out there, the young men out there, we are aspiring to get married and they are getting confused. They should be confused no more as they watch this program, because there is always a way out. You just need to have the will. Once there is a will, there is a way. And once you have that will, go for it. Don't wait. Don't listen to anybody. Go and do the right thing. You choose, elect either the civil form of marriage. You elect either the customary form of marriage, or if you want, you go in for the polygamous marriage. So if you have any doubts at any point in time, we are at your doorsteps. We are we are available for you. We are here. Barrister Emil is with a practicing lawyer. He's also a practicing lawyer. I'm also a practicing lawyer at Express Exchange, UB Junction, top floor. So we can. And
you're not only a practicing lawyer, but also a lecturer in the University of Buea.
Yes, I'm an advocate in training. Yes,
also an advocate in training.
I'm an advocate in training, yes, with the Cameroon Bar, and we are there to help you at any point in time, to give you advice. Okay, once more,
thank you very much, and may God continue to bless you all. You can always tap your neighbor that there is a program going on which is very good for them. This program is good for everyone. So always tap your neighbor if you have listened to it, or you are live following us now. Tap your neighbor that your neighbor should follow the program next week, because next week we'll still be coming on the same aspect of marriage. There are many things that we have for you. Thank you very much, and may God bless you all. Thank you.